What's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be talking about IRAs. Now, there are two types of IRAs. There's a traditional and a Roth. We're going to be focusing mainly on the traditional IRA. Kind of talk a little bit about a Roth just so you know the difference, but we're going to be really going over how to set up a traditional IRA on a brokerage account like TD Ameritrade, and then all the beautiful benefits that it comes with. I am someone that hates paying taxes. I get it's something you have to do. But there are beautiful things out there like IRAs that allow you to pay less taxes each year, and it's completely legal. So that is what we're going to dive into. But before that, I want to give a shout out to Delta Investment Tracker. This is hands down my favorite application to track all of my positions because I don't have just one brokerage account. I have a brokerage account, I have an IRA, I have a hardware wallet storing crypto, and it's so tedious trying to track it all. But there's this beautiful app called Delta Investment Tracker that will track everything for you all in one place with such a seamless user interface. I mean, you can just see right here, beautiful user interface. A link will be in the description for you to check it out. Download the app. It's my favorite app, and you guys should definitely have it on your phone if you don't already. But jumping back to the video, we're going to look at TD Ameritrade's IRA. So now we're going to jump back to the computer. Here it is. Open an IRA in 15 minutes. Again, you can check whatever kind of brokerage account you're using. I'm sure most of them offer IRAs. But if we were to click on Open New Account, you'll see it'll direct you to this, and there you go. We got our traditional and our Roth. We're not going to be talking about a Roth, but just to show you really quick, a Roth is for a certain group of people. If you're someone that's making over $125,000 a year or $198,000 if you file jointly with your spouse, then you may not be eligible for a Roth IRA. But there is something called a backdoor Roth, and you can look into that on your own time. But jumping over to a traditional IRA, which is going to be our focus today, you could contribute up to $6,000 each year. If you're over the age of 50, it is $7,000 a year. And you can't withdraw until you're at the age of 59 and a half. Now, this is a retirement account, so that's why that law is in place. I have both. I have both a brokerage account and an IRA because I want access to money at any time, and I'm still young, so if I want to sell my Google shares for a car, I could do that, and I don't have to worry about anything other than paying taxes on my capital gains. But it's not like I want to spend all my money. I'm going to need money when I'm 59 and a half and older. So for now, that's why I'm parking some money, the full amount, $6,000 a year, into an IRA as well, and that'll be play money in the future. And you can see right here that this retirement account, you pay no tax on earnings until you withdraw in retirement. So that means that you just put $6,000 into your IRA. Let's say you're making $66,000 a year to keep it simple. You just paid taxes on $66,000, but because you contributed $6,000 into an IRA, technically you only made $60,000. And you get a tax return for that $6,000 that you have overpaid now. So that is the first benefit. And then the next benefit, let's say you have an IRA on TD Ameritrade or any of these other apps, and you're buying call options on the next big tech stock, and it goes to the moon, you make a boatload of money, and you want to sell it because you want to capitalize on those gains, and you think the stock's going to go back down. Well, you could sell that. Doesn't matter what your return is. Doesn't matter if it's 10% or 10,000%. You still pay 0% on those gains. The only time you pay is when you withdraw from your IRA. So if you are taking that money and putting it into a different account, that is a withdrawal. But you could buy and sell stocks all day long, and you don't have to worry about paying any capital gains tax whatsoever. So because of that, I'm in leveraged ETFs. I could buy single individual stocks. I don't. I just like my IRA to be a set it and forget it. I have an ETF and a leveraged ETF. We'll go over that in a second. But if you're someone that wants to get aggressive and actively trade stocks, an IRA could be another great benefit because you're not paying taxes on it. You don't have to worry about any of that. until you withdraw. And one thing I always like to see, because for some of you, you may think, man, 6,000 is kind of limited. I wish I could put more in. Well, that's what brokerage accounts are for. And also you could get a 401k and you could put money in that way. But $6,000 will still add up over time. Jumping back to the computer, if we just look at this investment calculator, I put after 35 years. I'm just going to guess that the average person watching this is 30 years old, give or take 5 years. So the majority of my audience is between 25 and 35. So let's say you have another 35 years until retirement. You have no money. You are getting a rate of return of 8% a year, which is very doable. Just throw it into an ETF. And then your additional contributions, you're putting in $6,000 a year. We'll say at the end of each year, we hit calculate. You now have over $1 million by the time you're 65. Again, if you're 30 in this example. So that's $1 million by just contributing $6,000 into an IRA and then getting tax deductions every single year. $210,000 will be deducted from your overall taxes over the course of your working career, and now you're left with that $1 million. You will have to pay taxes on that million once you withdraw it from your brokerage account. Again, that's how traditional works. Taxes come after you make a profit and after you withdraw. A Roth IRA is flip-flop. You actually pay taxes beforehand, but then as your investments grow, once you withdraw, then you don't have to pay taxes. But again, you could look at other videos talking about a Roth IRA if that's more your style. But now we're going to jump onto my phone. Here's my IRA on TD Ameritrade. It wasn't a pretty day. I mean, everything was in the red today. But you can see it's just like your brokerage account. If you have a TD Ameritrade brokerage account, it's exactly the same. You got your balances. I could do the little drop down so you could see, the price going up. I could compare it to whatever, the NASDAQ, S&P 500. Obviously, it's going to be all higher than that because it's also counting the money that I have put in throughout the year. We got our table down here. Here's VTI, which is an ETF, TQQQ, which is a leveraged ETF, and I don't hold individual stocks in my IRA, but for this video today, I bought Verizon just so you guys could see it is possible. So there's individual stocks. I could buy individual stocks. I could buy options, I believe. You could do everything in an IRA just like you can with a brokerage account, but with all of these beautiful tax benefits. And we're actually going to sell this now. So here we go. If I go to reduce position, sell one share, hit review, place order, then there you go. You can see now that's open. Then when the market opens tomorrow, that will be sold. I'll get that $50 back. Made 19 cents on it for this video. But if it went up 100% and I made $50 on it, or if I even made $5,000, and then I thought, you know what, I don't want to hold on to that stock anymore. Let me sell it and go buy something else. I could do that, and I'm not paying any taxes on that capital gain because it's staying in my brokerage account. Well, it's staying in my IRA. I'm not withdrawing it into a bank account or anything like that. And just to walk you through the app, I mean, there's really not much more to it. It's identical to your brokerage account. And then you could jump up to the top where it says my account. That little drop down, you could switch between your brokerage account and your IRA. And then another nice thing, because there is that $6,000 limit, if you go to transfer funds because you want to put more money in, it'll actually have, you can see right here, 2021, 100% contributed. So as you're putting money into it throughout the year, it will show you how much you've contributed and how much you have left to contribute so you don't go over. So I think that feature is very cool. But besides that, guys, I mean, this video is not financial advice. It is purely education and entertainment purposes only. But if you are asking my pure opinion, I'd say everyone should have an IRA, especially if you're putting more money into the market than $6,000 a year and you don't need that money right away. It's a no-brainer. You open up an IRA, you're saving on taxes, well, you're getting taxes back at the end of the year, and then you're not paying capital gains tax if you're making these trades. And then by the time that you are of age to retire, you now have this great nest egg. Even if you're only making 8%, as you saw, over 35 years on the investment calculator, it's $1 million. What happens if it's 10%? there you go. There's $1.6 million in a little retirement account that you could set up on your phone and track it on your phone just like that. But that's all I got for you guys. If you liked this video, you know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my channel. I got over 100 videos of great content just like this. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.